Hi friends, Frikkie Engelbrecht here from Windhoek, Namibia. It has been a while, but now I'm back in business. Today I've got a question for you. We are all blaming the government, even hating the government, say bad things about them. But the question for today is, what can we do to change the political system wherever you are, Namibia, South Africa, international? What can we really do to change the political system? But I think especially for us in Namibia, South Africa, that's the issue. Have you thought about it? What can you do as an individual to make a difference in the political chaos and anarchy and just bad situation? So let's talk about that for a while. The first one is, let's remind ourselves of the conditions that we would like to change. What can we do about these conditions? They are, for instance, we all know that it is absolutely corruption, right? Corruption, chaos, dishonesty, lies, no values, no competence, not really trustworthy leaders, politicians, government officials. You can name endless lists. We all know about that. But how do we fix that? How do we change something about our political conditions that we can actually have a better quality of life for everybody? So here is the thing. I think if we summarize the two main components of the categories of the causing the biggest problems, then the one category is, of course, the kind of leaders that we have. They've got very wrong, selfish, self-enriching motives as leaders, not to operate and demonstrate and apply a true purposes of democracy. They are there for fame and fortune and self-enrichment and so on. So the biggest two problems of our political conditions in Namibia, South Africa specifically, is number one, the leaders are no good. Number two, it is the system. It is the political system within the political leaders. The political leaders on the one hand, that's not good. And then secondly, it is the system itself where the political decisions are taken, are made. So what can we do about the system? Yeah, we have voting and changes and political, every 3, 4, 5 years we change and we vote for new members and so on and so on. But it is not making a change, is it? The corruption is getting worse. The living is getting more expensive. People live in more fear, feel more insecure about the future and without hope and so on and so on. So my focus today is what we can do is one thing, we can live and be good examples and so on. We'll come back to that. But for me, the problem that we should address as parties, as church, and as voters, as citizens, what we should do is change the political system. So how do we change that in another way than just a normal go and vote? We gotta work together as parties, We gotta work together as parties, opposition parties. We gotta work together before the voting. And we gotta work in terms of, can we not change the majority rule system where people with the most votes in a party, the party with the most votes, get them in a equation formula more representatives in parliament and national committees and councils and ministries. If opposition parties work together and say, why don't we change it to a fair system? Because the majority rule is not fair in Namibia. It's not fair in South Africa. Because in both instances, there's kind of a majority. One party has a majority of one tribe, which is the biggest one. And the biggest tribe, if they join that particular party, that party has the majority. And they get more representatives in all the government places, but especially in parliament, where the decision-making process is making the difference for people in the street, for businesses, and so on. So, can you see, if we can work together as opposition parties and agree on how should a new system, like which I would like to call an equal representation model of democracy, then we can actually come together and get a 2/3 and outvote the majority rule out of the Constitution and vote in an equal representative system where no party can dominate another party. All the parties that qualify, got the necessary votes and the necessary members, they get all the same total of representatives in parliament, in municipalities, in national commissions and councils and so on. See, if we have an equal representation of all parties in parliament, then there is not a possibility that one group can outvote all other groups because it has more members. You don't need more people than another group to put your ideas and preferences and solutions on the table. You don't need more people to do that. It's not fair. That's exactly the problem. We have evolved as people 2,000 years after Christ, and we are as dumb as rocks. Why? Not because we are intellectually not clever, because we are in our nature, which is very sinful. We are trying to be the boss. That is the biggest sin of humankind. We are trying to be the boss. So you see, even Eve made that mistake in the Garden of Eden. She wanted to be like God, like Lucifer. And today we do the same thing. Every person, every party want to be like God. No, want to be the boss. See, we know we can't be God, but we want to be the boss. We want to make things happen our way, and it doesn't work in the political system. Okay, so what we got to do is come together, talk about it, unite, cooperate as parties, and agree that if we change the system to an equal representation in all the meetings, in all the parliament settings and systems, then we have a better chance to come up with a proper, fair system of decision making, which is biblical correct and which is scientific correct. How can you see that we are doing a scientific process of thinking and problem solving in parliament if one party can simply outvote all the other people? Their ideas are just wiped off the table because they are more, not because they are right. So I think we got to change that. All right, my 10 minutes is up for today, and I didn't even get to the point what I wanted to say, all right? But I'm going to leave this one for now, and then I'm going to go directly over to a next video and talk further about the same problem and say, what can we do to get the system changed? All right, greetings for now. My 10 minutes are done. See you on the next video. Bye.